Alright guys, so this is our part 3 video. As we already saw in part 2 how we are going to create a sample EC2 instance. Just one more time to recap, these are the things you need to have: Amazon AWS account, EC2 dashboard, choose the AMI, choose the instance type, security group, launch instance, and create a key pair, and connect your instance using the RDP. Okay, so now let's talk about how we are going to create RDP, or like a Windows instance in Amazon environment. So let's just first log in from beginning, right? Just search for Amazon AWS, and you need to log in into the Amazon console, aws.amazon.com. So just log in over there, and you just need to sign in into your account. Okay. My information was already there, so that's why it did not ask me. Otherwise, you need to enter user ID and password and then simply log in into this console. Now, what we will do in this session, we will create a sample Windows instance, and we will learn how to connect it to the Windows instance. Okay, so just go to the services option and then select the EC2. We are into the compute section, so just click on EC2 section. Okay. In here you guys will see EC2 management console, and you will see all the resources that you have right now. Okay, if you click on this option, you will see number of running instances that you have. As of now, I do not have any running instances, so that's why it's just showing as 0. Spot request, I will explain you in a further sessions, like why this is very useful for a compute portion, and how we can use a spot instances to reduce our overall cost for the infrastructure. Okay, so let's first create the Windows cloud instance. And one more time, let me just recap. These are the things you need in order to create a Windows computer or Windows cloud instance in Amazon. You will open the Amazon console. That's what we did. Click on launch instance. You will select the EMI because there are various EMIs that are available, such as Server 2012, Server 2016, Server 2012 Data Center. Then you will pick up an instance type. Once you pick up the instance type, then you will simply review and launch your instance. Then you will configure all the security with it. So let's go ahead and create our first instance on the Amazon environment, EC2 environment. So as soon as you click here, you get this option, choose the AMI, or AMI means Amazon Machine Image. uh, Amazon Machine Image, or AMI, is nothing but a template for software configuration. So if you have Ubuntu, Windows Server, so all these things are configured or pre-configured for you, all these images, so that when you start the instance, you do not need to install any operating system on your cloud computer. It's already done for you. So here are the various options for 2000 Windows Server. You can go with Microsoft Windows Server 2016. This is the AMI you can go with. You can also go with the container type. You can go with the nano type. You can go with SQL Server Express. If you are going to host your SQL Server on Microsoft Server, then you can go with that option. So that means SQL Server will be already installed for you over there. The next type is a SQL Server Standard Edition. So if you pick this particular AMI, it will have 2016 Server Edition, and on top of it, you will also get SQL Server Standard Edition installed on it. You can also go with the Windows Server 2012. So this is just the different version of server operating system. Same thing, you can pick Server 2012 Express Edition, as well as you can also go with the SQL Server Web Edition for 2012. So depending upon your requirement, you can pick and choose which server version is right for you. Amazon also provides AMI for 2008, 2012, and 2016 server. So depending upon if your organization is still using 2008 server or 2012, you can just go with this AMI and start using it. Okay. So just scroll down and you guys will see even for 2003, Amazon has the support right now. They are supporting the data center edition with it. So now let's just go ahead and create a sample Windows instance. I'm going to create a very basic, maybe 2012 instance right now. So let's just click create, just select this AMI. Now, these are all the available instance type that we have. Okay, now let me explain you the purpose of this. If you know that your server is gonna be heavy on a compute side, then you need to pick something from this drop down that says compute optimized. Okay, these are a different family for the compute types like C4, C4 2x, C4 large, C4 8x, and you can see how it is different. Number of virtual CPUs define your instance type. So for example, C3 8x large has 32 virtual CPUs. C4 4x large has 16 virtual CPUs. C4 8x large has 36 virtual CPUs. So these are all compute organized, and that's why depending upon your need, you can pick either a compute optimized or you can pick up. Now let's say my server is gonna be more towards the memory optimized. So what I can do is I can just select that particular instance type and determine my memory. These are all the memory optimized instance types. So if you notice, you have R4 large that is with 15 GB memory. You have X large that is 32 GB or 30 GB. With the 2X large, you have 60 GB. So that means if you know, depending upon your requirement, if you know that your server is more for computing part, then you go with the compute optimized. If you know that your server is going to be more useful for a memory intensive applications, then you just go with the memory optimized, and you can pick any version. Again, it all depends on your memory. Also, let's, for example, if you create your instance with this R4 large and after few months you determine that your instance is running very low on a memory, then you can always convert it back to a higher amount of memory very easily. You can switch it back very easily. That is a straightforward purpose, a process with Amazon. Okay. Let's go ahead and create our first instance now. I'm gonna pick a very basic instance. It's a free tier, right? With the micro instance T1 micro, as it's a free. So Amazon provides, especially when you sign up, Amazon will give you a 750 hour free micro instance each month. So until it expires, right? So my suggestion is if you are still learning cloud computing, my suggestion is to just to go with this instance type so that you don't get charged every month for your instance, and this is gonna be free. This instance has only one CPU and maybe 600 MB memory. The network performance is very low. It is using EBS storage. Okay. Now let's see the storage optimize. If you guys notice the storage optimize, here you can decide which node is right for your need. If you are going to store a lot of data for processing, then you can go with even SSD storage. SSD is a solid state drive and the rest of them are HDD. So depending, if you are doing some operation where it requires a very high amount of IOs, then it is better to go with the solid state drives, right? That always saves, it's gonna be little bit expensive, but at the same time you can achieve performance, expected performance with your need. Okay, so these are all different storage optimized instance type. And then there are some more as well, memory optimized for general purpose. You can just go with the T2s and M4s. And as you notice, for the M4s, it comes with EBS storage only. Okay, if you notice, the M4 large is just general purpose. M4 10x large has 10 CPUs and 160 GB memory or a RAM. Okay, same thing. So again, depending upon your need, you can pick whichever one makes more sense. So for example, let's just select very basic one for our need. Just with T1 Micro, it's a free tier and it comes with one virtual CPU and zero point 0.5 memory, and it's a EBS only. So just click configuration details. Now, when you go on the auto scaling group, now let me explain you the purpose why we need auto scaling. Let's say you are planning to host a website on IIS server, and during the peak hours between 12 to 5, your traffic is the highest on your website. So what will happen if you configure the auto scaling group, that I want number of instances to be auto scale by 5 instances or 6 instances, you can just specify it over here, so that in case during a peak time, if your instance CPU usage goes above certain limit, then it will automatically spin up a new instance for you and start diverting the traffic for that instance. Or it will also, whenever the CPU usage goes down, it will automatically terminate it. Now another example, let's say you need to process like 1000 GB worth of data, and you want to process it right now just with one server, but your requirement just got changed and you would like to process all the data within and like 30 minutes. So if you configure the auto scaling group, it will automatically scale to finish up your job by that time. That I want to finish my job within 50 minutes, so scale up to like 100 instances if required and finish my job within that time. So that's the benefit of using the auto scaling group. Now let's understand, uh, there are a couple of things that we need to understand before we go into too much detail. Let's right now first create a very basic instance. Okay, and I'm just going to go over one by one detail. Request the spot instances. Now here, Amazon has a concept of a spot instances. That means, let's say I have purchased a cluster or a EC2 instances from Amazon in like a large amount of instances. My instances are not being used right now, so I'm going to give it to Amazon back and say that, hey, now you can sell these instances. I'm not using it for now, but I might require to use it after 3 days. So you are leasing your own instances and Amazon is giving it to other companies at a spot price or at a low price. Now for that one, you will bid that I want my instances at like 30 cents or 50 cents or 70 cents, right? So you will just keep bidding your price, and depending upon that, it will fluctuate the price. So for now, again, let's not worry about the spot instances. Let's just continue with our basic instance creation.